We are off to meet the Birmingham Sandwell Irish Society, which is based in the West Brum area of the city. Siobhan Gorman has been involved with the society for over 20 years, and Siobhan, along with her volunteers, have been doing a great job caring for the Irish community down the years. We'll be meeting Siobhan, some of her volunteers, and one or two of the people that they've been caring for.
When this happened and it was obvious that people were in lockdown, we had to find new ways of keeping in touch with people and providing services for people and making sure that people weren't lonely and isolated. So we started off, the first few weeks into the pandemic, we started off delivering some goodie bags to test the water with some Irish biscuits and herring soup and chocolates. And then we followed that up a few weeks later with a bag of Clonakilty sausages, black and white pudding, Galty cheese, all lovely Irish stuff, and some potatoes, carrots and onions. We're now into our third lot of afternoon teas. We're getting 220 lots of boxes of afternoon teas out to people. And next week we're going out with tea bags, Irish marmalade, Kimberley biscuits, Tayto crisps, all the lovely Irish stuff that people want. And it's been amazing, the response that we've had, because people have felt so looked after and delighted to get something from Ireland. We've linked quite a few people into the local authority and the NHS food bank things, but it's not, when you're looking at people don't really need stuff from the food bank. And you can define need in many ways, and for us we felt that we would kind of broaden the meaning of need to getting some goodies and to be letting people feel that they were taken care of and letting people enjoy some nice things. And also it was brilliant when I'm sure we will meet some of the volunteers, but when they were going up the garden path, knocking on the door, dropping the goodies on the doorstep and standing back, the delight that I know that a lot of people felt, and the happiness and the joy that they felt, not just getting a bag of goodies but also seeing a different person when it was really kind of deep into lockdown.
Sandwell Irish Society, tell me a little bit about that.
We were started in almost 19 years ago. We get funding from the Immigrant Support Programme, the Irish Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade in Dublin, through the Irish Embassy in London, fund our work. We are based here at this community centre, which is one of Sandwell Council's community centres, so they give us this free of charge in exchange for us looking after it, basically. It's meant that we can expand a lot of the activities that we do. So we have a regular club air, and we meet maybe 2-3 times a week with a group of older people. Sometimes we might do some crafts, and over the years we've done craft, we've done sing songs, we've done Irish language, or sometimes people just come and sit and chat. Sometimes we'll do some gentle exercises as well, and it's a great opportunity for a lot of older people to get out and meet with friends. So that's one aspect of the work. A lot of the work I do as well is enabling people to access the entitlement, the welfare benefits and entitlements like pensions, Irish pensions, attendance allowance and things like that, passport applications, giving them out, helping people to fill in forms. We do a lot of projects in schools around St Patrick's Day as well. It's a whole varied day. At the moment we have one lady, very sadly a young lady who's on our committee, not in very good health, been in hospital for a month, and it's not looking good with cancer. So I've been liaising with the hospital as her next of kin, and that's been a bit of a tough thing, but I'm glad that I'm here to do it, because who else would do it? And I have found it difficult but rewarding as well.
I know that you do a lot of work for the Irish community here in West Brum and Birmingham, but you also got your lovely daughter here that volunteers a lot. She's a silent worker We never hear from her, but she does so much work behind the scenes. That's Laura.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Grandad is looking after Laura's 3 little ones, Harry and Walter and Layla, as we speak, a 6, 4 and 2-year-old, so I'm sure he's kept busy. But yes, Laura's been here all the time when anything's going on, when we have lots of parties, Christmas parties, St Patrick's Day. Laura's always there in the background doing all of the buying and the washing up and the tidying away and putting bags of stuff in for people to take home if there's anything left over. So yes, she's one of the volunteers. But I would like to say, talking about volunteers, we could not have done this work during this pandemic without the volunteers that some of them we're going to meet today. They have just been absolutely amazing, from buying food, bagging potatoes, carting bags of spuds up the pathway into the centre, putting them into bags and then going out and delivering and buying lots of stuff. It's been hard work, and it would not have been possible without the volunteers.
Tell me about your Mayo connections.
My dad's from Mayo, my husband's from Mayo, and my mum and dad, mum's from Donegal, so we go back all the time to Killala and have a great time. It's like going home all the time. It's really good.
During the day, we had the pleasure of meeting the Brennan family.
A few months ago, Siobhan put out an appeal for volunteers. I have helped Siobhan in the past, so I contacted her and got involved with what she was trying to do. I've been buying large quantities of sweets and food for the hampers from retailers that I know, managing to get a discount as well. I've been going to local farms and buying fresh produce, ferrying it here to the centre. I've also been going to St Anne's in Digbeth, and we've been partnering up with them and buying fresh produce, Irish sausages, biscuits and the like for the hampers, bringing them to the centre, helping to sort them out into parcels and then going off around Sandwell and the West Midlands in general and delivering them to people of Irish descent.
A lot of volunteering time goes into it.
Yes, one particular week I think we worked 5 days on the trot. But yeah, an awful lot of time's gone into it, but we've been delighted to do it. I've been furloughed at the moment, so it's been really rewarding helping out and seeing the smiles on the old people's faces at the doors, particularly when they look into the parcels and see the Irish brand sticking out. You know, there aren't too many places locally you can buy these brands, so it's a real treat for them and kind of connects them back to Ireland.
Jimmy, I know you've been volunteering with your dad as well. You've been out on deliveries. What has it been like for you to experience something like that? Because you've never done that before.
Well, it's been rewarding as well, because just seeing the smiles on their faces when they see that you've taken your time out of the day to give them something, it's just very rewarding. I've really enjoyed it, and I'll remember it for years to come.
I've been helping out in a slightly different way to the boys and my daughter Ellie. I've been at weekends and in the evening. I've helped the society by delivering medication and food to a lady who was very seriously ill at home and then subsequently was hospitalised. And this lady was so grateful that somebody was taking time to bring in some of her favourite food and giving her that nourishment and a feeling of being loved and cared for by people outside. And yeah, it was very rewarding, and yeah.
I believe she made a lovely phrase to you, didn't she?
She did. When I first delivered the food and the medication to her home, I let myself in at her request, and she called me and asked me to go into her room, and I said, I can do that, but I have a mask on. And she said, no, that's absolutely fine. I just need to see your face and to be able to thank you personally.
Yeah, and you brought a little bit of Irish into her home, I think.
I did, absolutely. A little bit of Irish produce to make a lady smile.
Now, Ellie, I know that you've been volunteering. You've been out on deliveries as well.
I've been around Birmingham and Dudley, and it's been really lovely just getting out during the pandemic, seeing a smile on people's faces at the doorstep. It's been really rewarding for me as well.
Jerry McMahon is a volunteer and is also heavily involved with St Michael's and the Holy Angels Church.
The church, St Michael's in West Bromwich in the Holy Angels, opened last week for private prayer. And I'm a steward on that, a volunteer steward. And basically we're watching the people come in, making sure they use the hand sanitizers, wear masks, and guiding them around the church so they can sit separately from one another.
What's the guidelines on this? Is there a number of people allowed in, or can you just get in as many as you can fit in social distance?
No. There's going to be a system, first come, first served. So there'll be, we'll watch how many people come in, and when we get to a point, we'll have to say, no, I'm sorry, that's the end of it. We even have to do that when they have the private prayer this week. I'm going on Thursday for private prayer for people. And when they use the different things, we have to wash everything down. So it is quite difficult.
So is there like a team of people involved in this from, for each church?
Yes, volunteers, yes. It's volunteers from the church itself, and I'm one of the volunteers.
Well done, Jerry, and everybody who's put in so much effort to getting the churches open again.
Have you heard of Phil the fluter from the town of Ballymuck? Oh, the time was going hard with him. In fact, the man was broke. Though he just sent out a notice to his neighbours, one and all, as how he'd like their company that evening at a ball. Now, when writing out, he was careful to suggest to them, if they found a hat of his convenient to the door, the more they put in, whenever he requested them, the better would the music be for battering the floor with the toot on the flute and a twiddle on the griddle, oh, hopping in the middle like a hen on the griddle, oh, up, down, hands a toe and crossing to the wall. Sure hadn't we the gaiety at Phil the fluter's ball. We've been married 62 years, and when I was on the road as a musician, everybody knew me as Fish and Chips. We had 5 children, 6 grandchildren, and so on. And we've lived in Birmingham for 66 years now. Siobhan, I cannot understand when I read the Irish Post and they make Irish People of the Year. Ireland should recognise young Siobhan as the Irish woman of the world, yes, because the woman does so much good for all the Irish people around the Black Country. It's frightening to try and list it. I'm sitting on the stile, Mary, where we sat side by side, on a bright May morning long ago, and first you were my bride. The corn was springing fresh and green, the lark sang loud and high, and the red was on your lip, Mary, and the love light in your eye.
We also had the pleasure of meeting father and daughter team, Michael and Corinne MacDonald. I began by asking Corinne how she got involved.
I received a phone call a few weeks ago from the lovely Siobhan saying that she had a package for my dad, and could she somehow get in touch with him to arrange delivery. I then offered to come up and collect it, and when I arrived, Siobhan was in the process of making up the parcel, so I stayed and helped to do the ones for that evening. I asked if there was any way I could be of help over the coming weeks, and she said that they could do with boxes and bags, so I contacted my neighbour who works for Tesco, and he provided us with 20 watermelon crates in order for Siobhan and her delivery people to go out and take the deliveries to the local community. She also mentioned about the grounds being very overgrown, and my dad Michael used to work for the council in the gardening department, so I suggested to Siobhan that we could help by coming up and doing that for her, and also that my son Mika was doing his DV and it could contribute towards his volunteering hours. But unfortunately Mika had an accident, so it's come down to me and Dad.
When she told me that the gardening needed some attention, I come up to have a look at it, and it's in a bad way, so I volunteered myself to make it tidy outside, but the weather has been against us, and as you'll see from the state of the gardening, You will not get an end result, but the finish will be a decent job.
We also paid a visit to Sylvia McAndrew, who received a lovely bag of Irish goodies. I had a great chat with Sylvia, and I began by asking her what's her connection with County Mayo.
My name's Sylvia, and I was married into the McAndrew family, who hail from Belmullet, a little village called Port Erling. And that is a fishing village, and 50 years plus I've been going to Mayo, and it is my favourite place on earth. As you can see, I'm not well at the moment, so Ireland is my place. And we have family in Tramore as well. That was from his mum's side of the family, but I love Mayo. Absolutely love Ireland. I'm sorry I wasn't born Irish. That's his, you know, little regret of mine. And I can't thank Siobhan and the team enough. But Siobhan is like an angel. She is an angel, and she deserves some kind of knighthood. My daughter put her forward for Woman of the Year a couple of years ago, but I think she needs higher than that. She's so caring for the Irish in Sandwell and anywhere really, but she's very, very good, and I love Siobhan and the family. An Irish Sandwell Society bought me some gifts 2 weeks ago, and it was like bringing Ireland back into the house. It was absolutely fantastic. The sausage, the biscuits. It's a thing you don't get really around here now. But yeah, so Siobhan and the Irish Centre and Sandwell Irish Society, fantastic.
Well done to Siobhan and all the team at Birmingham Sandwell Irish Society for the great job that you're doing.